Starting the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, a great cup of coffee. I can already tell. And I'm right. Bam. Love it. The key is heating up your cream first. Heat it up in a pan or in the microwave. Game changer. Absolute game changer. I remember learning in graduate marriage and family counseling. It was a class that I took called Marriage and Family Counseling. That romance is the glue that keeps people close. Now, some people will say sex. A lot of red pill guys are taught by their red pill leaders sex. That's wrong. It's romance. There may come a day when the marriage relationship is not able to have sex involved due to age, illness, accident, whatever. And if sex is a thing that keeps a relationship close, that means when there's no sex or people are unable to have sex for a number of reasons, that the marriage is threatened. I believe what I learned is right, and the rationale is this. Romance is the glue that keeps relationships together. Because even when there's illness, even when you're older, and it's going to happen, a lot of red pill guys don't like to think that they're going to get older. And when they sprout their first gray hairs or any onset of aging, they're going to be the first ones to freak out. I love being older. I love it. For instance, when I see my parents holding hands, when I see them dancing, when I see them riding bikes together, that's romantic for them. What they do behind closed doors, that's their business, not mine. Nobody wants to think about their parents doing anything but eating dinner at the dinner table and that kind of thing. But romance can last throughout the marriage, throughout the lifespan of a person's life. So don't shortchange yourself. Now, of course, many times these red pill guys, they would say sex is the glue that keeps a marriage together because their whole world revolves around a penis. What you do with it or what you don't do with it, which is an obsession if you think about it. Everything is about the penis and where it goes. To me, that's a little bit odd because there's so much more to life than 8 inches of flesh. 8 inches of flesh. Oh, God. All right, so let me continue the theme here. From blazing love to mere holding hands to a gentle, reassuring touch. That's romance. Something as simple as that. How do I know? What happens when you are asking a girl out, guys or gals? What happens when you go on a date? There's stages, isn't there? One of those stages is arm around the person. Another stage of just going from inquiry to maybe trying to have a relationship, holding hands, a hug, a kiss, the type of kiss. It's never forget being romantic. It's not being mushy, it's being romantic. There's a huge difference. It's the simple things. Walking past your wife and just slapping her behind. I used to do this to my wife all the time. When it was time to go to bed at night, if we were downstairs in the kitchen or doing something, we would go upstairs. The bedroom was on the second floor. And she would, I would check the doors, lock everything, and we would go upstairs. On the way upstairs, I'd be grabbing her butt, which would make her kind of laugh and giggle and run up the stairs, and I'd run up after her and be grabbing her butt on the way up. And it was just kind of always a funny thing to do. It got to the point where if I was behind her and she was going up the stairs, she'd be like, always be looking over her shoulder with her hand down here. And it was just a game all the time. She knew I was going to grab her butt. Or if she was in the bathroom putting on her makeup or something like that, I would sneak by, cop a little feel. Romance. It's not always hot. It's not always about penis in vagina. It can be about holding hands, a little pinch, a little squeeze, a little pat on the back, rubbing the back. That being said, there is a place for everything on that spectrum throughout the lifespan of the relationship. And then there's shifting emphasis due to parenting, empty nesting, aging, disability, and it can be turned up or down like a thermostat with words or no words. Romance is the glue that keeps a relationship together. There are times when both people are just so tired and you think, I'd like to have sex, but I'm so tired. When just a hug or a kiss or holding is enough and sufficient. That doesn't mean you're any less romantic, any less loving, any less together. The marriage is not in trouble. Romance is the glue that keeps a relationship together. Without romance, there is no relationship, or I would say the relationship is nothing but a platonic relationship. Many marriages get old and tired. I hear women say this. I don't hear men say this. A lot of women will say, I love him, but I'm not in love with him. I have no friggin' idea what that means. I just think that's a femaleism. That's what women start saying before they want to be separated and get divorced. That's just my opinion. I've seen that. I've heard that. Personally have heard that with women. I love him. I'm just not in love with him anymore. Why don't people leave the house anymore? What is it with these women who can't go out on their own? I'm just going to say this right now. We live our own lives. He does his thing, I do my thing. I'd rather just see you split up. Seriously. And I know 9 times out of 10 it's about the financial. That's a fact. So what happens is she ends up having a relationship while she's still living under the same roof as her husband. He may or may not. To everybody out there, just have the balls to leave and start fresh, rather than do this weird fizzling out where you start sleeping in different bedrooms and pursuing different things. That's just odd. I find it odd. I've encountered many women like that in my lifetime, and even have dated some like that. Odd. It's weird. There's so many things to be offended at in so little time. List for me, down below, list the things that are now offensive. Flags, statues, the Constitution, the national anthem. List for me the things that are considered offensive, and let's create a big list of ridiculousness. Do that. I'd like to see that. Dr. Ben Carson says, my mother worked 3 jobs cleaning the houses of rich people. She noticed they didn't watch TV a lot. So she turned off the TV in our house and made us read books, then give her a book report, even though she couldn't read. But we didn't know that at that time. Dr. Ben Carson. A man that I've met and have had deep conversation with. Want to hear some lyrics from the early 60s from the Beach Boys? Ready to have your mind blown? It starts with just a little glance now. Right away you're thinking about romance now. You know you ought to take it slower, but you can't just wait to get to know her. A brand new love affair is such a beautiful thing, but if you're not careful, think about the pain it can bring. It makes you feel so bad. It makes your heart feel sad. It makes your days go wrong. It makes your nights so long. You've got to keep in mind, love is here today and it's gone tomorrow. It's here and gone so fast. Key lyrics. Right now you think that she's perfection. This time is really an exception. Well, you know, I hate to be a downer, but I'm the guy she left before you found her. Cold, hard truths from the Beach Boys. I was contemplating last night, thinking about communion, for those of you that appreciate communion. The simplest of elements, bread and wine, become something more than bread and wine when Jesus blessed it and said, "This is my body and this is my blood." And I was really just tripping out about that last night, really thinking hard about it. As J.I. Packer, now this is interesting, so I'm going from kind of a Catholic thinking to a Reformed thinking, but hear me out. As J.I. Packer said, just contemplating and pondering on God is of God. Let me say that again. I'm just paraphrasing J.I. Packer. He says that just even thinking about God expands the mind and the heart. Contemplating and pondering on God is of God. It's fascinating. People think that they choose God. Not a lot of choosing going on. You don't have it within you to choose. God draws you to Him. Why would you even think about God? Your mind doesn't go to God naturally. You don't have it within you to think in that direction. God puts something in your heart that makes you start thinking about Him. And that's what happens with a lot of people. There's this weird, egotistical, narcissistic nonsense where I chose God. I accepted Jesus. No one accepts Jesus. You don't have it within you to do that. Do you realize how narcissistic that theology is? You don't accept Jesus. If you are with the Lord, it's because that happened before the foundation of the world. Because that was part of the plan. And it's a beautiful thing. The word Jesus is what the name Yeshua or Joshua, which means what? Salvation is of God. Salvation is not of Diane or Jack or George or Sally or Martha or Debbie. Salvation is of God. So all props go to God, not you. When you say you accepted God, that means you had something within you that was smart enough to know that you needed God. You don't have anything in you that's smart enough to know that. Again, like I said last night, I was tripping about the whole thing. Anyone know of Father Corapi? I'm not sure if that's how you say his name. Corapi. I started listening to him a little bit, read his bio. I think he's 73 right now, if I'm not mistaken. In his early 70s. Wow. I really like the guy. I really like him. I was introduced to him recently and immediately started looking him up and studying and listening to some of his sermons. The guy was filling up stadiums. Stadiums. I'm talking 40, 50, 60,000 people. One of his favorite phrases is the darkness will not prevail. I love that. Thank you, Father Karapi. I hope I'm saying the name right. Here's a testimonial from a married couple. He's 81, she's 71. They ride 20 miles a day on their e-bikes. Both reversed diabetes and hypertension in less than a year. Neither of them are on any medication at all. When asked about why an e-bike, they said it was more about just getting up the hills. Men with hair pieces. What do you think about men with hair pieces? I'm not judging I'm not making any judgments. And I don't have any leaning either way. Do you think it's authentic? Do you think they're smart for doing it? Do you think it looks fake? Do you think, hey, if it can look good and it makes you feel better, then do it? All your replies are welcome. Put down below what you think of hair pieces or hair replacement systems. I'd like to see what you think about them. Can somebody explain to me in plain language why there is a coin shortage? I was at the post office yesterday mailing out the straight razor and a couple other things to different people. And there was a sign at the desk, at the counter at the post office that said, due to a national coin shortage, please use exact change or use your card. Why is that? Why is there a coin shortage, and why am I seeing that sign everywhere? What is up? Coach EO says this: you are chasing her or she's chasing you. It's one or the other. You know? I believe he could be right. Oh man, that is a good cup of coffee. C.S. Lewis said it perfectly in 1948. We make men without chests and expect of them virtue and enterprise. We laugh at honor, and we're shocked to find that there's traitors in our midst. We castrate and then bid the geldings to be fruitful. Boy, did he nail it or what? We make men without chests and then expect of them virtue and enterprise. Men are not important, are they? Not until a bridge needs to be built or a war needs to be fought. That's my opinion. Men are important. You, mister, are important as a father, as a man. The world needs you. Never give up. And ladies, encourage your man. The world needs him. Even though ladies say, we don't need no men. Yeah, you do. You resent the fact that you have to become more like a man to make it in this world. You're not built for that. You're not built for it. Encourage your man. And if you don't have a man, don't be more like a man. Don't be more independent. Strong, independent woman. Yeah. Okay. What did someone say? She's a strong, independent woman until a spider needs to be killed. That made me laugh. But ladies, amp up your femininity. Men, amp up your masculinity, even though you might not know what that means. Do not confuse macho with masculine. Ladies, if you are single, be more of a lady. Be more feminine. And you will attract men like a darn flower attracts bees. And you'll have options. Men, no matter what age you are, if you are single, work on yourself. Pursue excellence, and excellence will pursue you. That's the way it works, not the other way around. Work on yourself. Stomach in, chest out, shoulders back, head up. Walk 25% faster. Men will pitch a woman to collaborate or do business with her for the possibility of sex. Women will collab with a guy and take it fairly far for the possibility of financial profit. The problem with most guys is that they think they can collaborate, business partner, or friend their way to pussy. That's not going to happen. Hey, let's do business together. I got this project. I want you to work with me, he says to a woman. They work on it tirelessly for 6 months. They're out for cocktails one night after a hard day of work. And then he leans in to kiss her. And she goes, whoa, I thought we're just doing business or we're just friends. And then he gets frustrated. Why? Because he thought for the past 6 months he can friend his way into her. Dude, attraction is like that. You don't earn your way into a woman's attraction. Never do it. I don't care. I've seen the toughest of guys become like blubbering little babies because a woman broke their heart. And they can't understand women. I'll never figure women out. Dude, you did it wrong right from the start. You don't collab, friend, or business partner your way into a woman's life or heart or mind or whatever you want to call it. You don't do it. Men, I would say be direct approach. A woman appreciates direct approach. Direct approach means you just speak your mind, but you have to earn the right to speak your mind. Or you could end up just being perceived as a weirdo as well. There's this arrogance that many men have, thinking that they can they scheme their way into a woman's life. They think it's in their head, and then they get terribly let down. It's the coolest and the suavest and the toughest of guys that end up falling the hardest. If you want a girl, direct approach would be like this. I think we should be intimate. I think we should date. Are you feeling the same way? But you're afraid that she's going to say no. You're afraid of that big word, no. The word no won't kill you. Or the phrase, I'm not interested. Or I think we should just be friends. You're afraid of that. But it's better to get that data, and it's data. Keep your emotions out of it. It's better to get that data early on, so boundaries are set. And with that, finish your coffee. And I'll see you Monday morning on the Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason. JM Bullion is an online precious metals dealer offering physical gold and silver bullion that is delivered directly to your door. Established in 2011, JM Bullion has shipped over 2 million orders and done over $3 billion in sales. Featuring a wide product selection, market-leading and straightforward pricing, top-notch customer service, and I can tell you, it is top-notch, and free shipping on orders of $99 and up, JM Bullion should be your go-to precious metals dealer.